I was so excited to live alone. After 22 years of sharing bedrooms with siblings and college roommates, I finally signed the lease on a studio apartment in a quiet neighborhood on the east side of town. It wasn't huge, just a living space with a kitchenette, a bathroom, and a single closet, but it was mine. My parents helped me move in over a weekend in August. The AC rattled like it had bronchitis, and the place smelled faintly of dust and something older. But I figured it just needed a little life inside it again. Everything felt normal until about 3 weeks after they left. It started with small things. First thing I noticed was a missing mug, my favorite one, the one my sister got me from our trip to Colorado. I figured I misplaced it in a box or maybe broke it and forgot. Then it was food. Half a pack of granola bars gone, an open jar of peanut butter I didn't remember opening. Again, I assumed I was just being forgetful. I was in a new place, working a part-time job, and adjusting to adult life. Stress makes you clumsy, right? That's what I told myself. One night in early September, I came home after a late night shift and felt something was off the moment I stepped in. Nothing was stolen, nothing was broken, but the throw pillow I always kept on my bed was now on the couch, and the chain lock, which I never used, was latched from the inside. I stood at my doorway for almost a full minute, just staring. There was no way I could have left it that way. The door locks automatically behind me, and the chain has to be fastened from the inside. I checked every inch of the apartment, room by room, even under the bed like a kid afraid of monsters. Nothing. I didn't sleep that night. The next morning, I called the leasing office and asked if maintenance had come in for any reason. They said no. I asked if anyone else had a copy of my key. They assured me only the manager and the emergency maintenance staff did, and all entries were supposed to be logged. Still, I changed my locks that afternoon. Even bought a little stick-on door sensor that beeped if the door opened. It made me feel a lot better, until I started hearing noises. Soft, barely there creaks at night. The rustle of paper. Once I swore I heard someone sigh from behind the closet door. I'd swing it open, heart pounding, and find nothing but clothes and boxes. I started thinking maybe I was losing it. Then came the sticky note. I found it a few days later, tucked inside the drawer where I keep my kitchen utensils. I only opened that drawer to grab a spatula. Sitting there on top of the silverware was a bright yellow note, the kind you buy in bulk from office supply stores. In shaky, all-caps handwriting, it said, "You looked peaceful last night." My blood went cold, my legs locked. I backed into the living room, knees trembling, unsure what to do. I didn't call the cops right away. I was embarrassed. What would I even say? Hi, someone left a creepy note in my drawer, and I'm scared. There was no sign of forced entry, no fingerprints, nothing stolen. Still, I knew something was wrong. So, I bought a cheap motion-activated camera from Amazon and stuck it above my closet door. One that would ping my phone if it detected movement. I didn't want to admit it, but I was starting to think someone might be living in my apartment. It didn't take too long for the camera to catch something. 3 nights later, I was at my friend Tasha's apartment, too nervous to sleep alone. Around 2, I got a notification. Motion detected. 3rd Avenue Studio Cam. I opened the app. At first, I thought it glitched. The feed was shaky and the lens looked covered. But then it cleared, and for a split second, I saw a face. Close up, eyes wide, skin pale, mouth slightly open like he was trying to listen through the camera. Then the feed went dark. No movement after that, just static. I went home the next day with a baseball bat and Tasha by my side. We found nothing. No sign of anyone in the closet, nothing under the bed, even the attic hatch was sealed tight. but the note was gone. I didn't sleep that night either. The final straw came 2 weeks later. I came home from work around 7 p.m. and something just felt wrong. I couldn't put my finger on it until I noticed the air vent in the bathroom ceiling. It had dust around the edges like it had been removed. I grabbed a chair, climbed up, and nudged it open with a broom handle. Inside was a small compartment, barely big enough for a person to squeeze into, but someone had tried. There was a crumpled blanket, a toothbrush, a plastic bottle, and, in the corner, my missing mug. I fell off the chair. I called the police this time. They searched the entire building but found no one. They told me it was likely someone had been accessing the crawl space through the roof and slipped into my vent when I wasn't home. No signs of break-in, just signs of someone waiting. They ended up filing a report, told me to stay with a friend, and promised to notify the landlord. That night, I stayed at Tasha's again. I didn't sleep, neither did she. Around 3, I got another ping. This time, the motion wasn't from the closet. It was from the front door. I pulled up the feed. A man in a gray hoodie was standing inside my apartment. He was barefoot, just standing there, looking around. Then he turned to face the camera, held something up. It was the yellow sticky note. He pressed it against the wall, took 2 steps forward, and waved. The police didn't find him. They reviewed the footage and said that the man must have had a copy of the new key or found a way to pick the lock. I moved out the same week. Didn't go back for anything I couldn't carry in my arms. The leasing company refunded my deposit without even arguing. I think they knew. I've changed cities, changed my phone number, got a roommate, installed 3 cameras and a second deadbolt. But some nights, I still get that feeling. That off feeling, like someone's waiting nearby, listening. And just last week, I opened a package I didn't remember ordering. No return address. Inside, a single sticky note. I still have the key. They say your first apartment is where you find yourself. I guess I found something else. Someone else. If you ever feel like something's off, like your stuff isn't where you left it, or you're not alone in the dark, trust that feeling. And maybe double check the locks. Thanks for listening. And until next time, stay safe, stay smart, and stay draconian. Good night.